What it do? What's up, y'all? We back.
We made it.
We got, and I'm gonna say it for y'all.
And they made it.
They made it. I'm gonna say it for y'all because I know y'all want to say it. We have the original Trash Talkers.
Yep. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much.
You made it.
Acceptance.
They made it. And
you have arrived at stage 5.
Right. Well, so what episode is this for you guys?
111. 111. Way ahead. Way ahead.
But you're right. But we actually are up one.
Yes, we had this is a bonus actually. So
right.
So you catching up?
Oh, thank y'all everybody for checking into the Trash Talk Podcast. My name's Behringer Hollywood 6 Bonds.
I am Larry Smokey Ramirez Cowan.
We got the fellow German Trash Talkers, and this is episode
32.
And for them, this is episode
111. Well, you're not going to catch up to us anytime soon, by the way.
Well, at the current rate, with every 30-second podcast being an extra one, it takes them about, like, I don't know, a few decades.
A couple lifetimes, maybe. We'll see.
We're going to catch you before the next millennia.
He said a few decades. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, man, I want to thank everybody for checking in. And what do you guys say? I want to just go ahead and hop into the segments?
Yeah, let's do it. What do you got?
Awesome.
Got some good stories from the American South?
I think we do. Great state of Florida. Before you get into that, Florida, I just want all of the trash talkers out there in the world to know JJ has a crush in America. Oh. Go ahead, sir.
I want to announce this real quick, right? Like, I think I'm pretty much Nostradamus because, start of the year, I predicted that JJ was getting married in August of this year. I predicted it like a year ago.
Bro, I think how crazy.
I think we're on track, my dudes. I think we're on track.
Also, you comparing yourself to Nostradamus is very common these days.
Yes.
Who were we talking about yesterday?
About predicting the future?
Whose name did we bring up?
Eileen Warnos.
No, the name he just said.
Oh, Nostradamus? Yeah.
Nostradamus. I called it, man. I've been saying all year, JJ's getting married in August. I said it. It's true. I said it half a year ago.
Yes, and August has started and there's still no wedding in sight.
Dude, you don't know how fast that's going.
You know, your accuracy is...
Yeah, we're getting there, bro. We're getting there.
Yeah, but there has been someone that has entered your life, sir.
Well,
with
that seems like an exaggeration.
By proxy of several people, yeah. But sure, why not? Why not?
You'd be surprised. She's a cute chick. But y'all, let's go ahead and get into some OM. No. I'm sorry.
We're not doing OMG this time because we are with the fellow trash talkers. So we are just doing
WTF.
Yeah.
What we got in here, bro? What's going on in Florida? This should be
all right. The title of this one is Florida man who knowingly spread HIV gets 10 years in prison.
I saw that on Reddit. I was like, did I send you the link to that? I saw it while we were texting. I was like, I should send you this link, but I think I didn't. But I saw it at that time.
Wow.
You telepathically sent it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think I did.
Pensacola, Florida. Pensacola.
Of course.
Yes, of course. A Florida man has been sentenced to prison after having sex without notifying his partners that he has HIV positive. Rashim Ike Bodyford, 27. Get bodied.
Wait a minute. That's too much of a coincidence. He's transmitting a viral disease that infects what? Your entire
body.
And what's his last name?
Bodyford.
Yeah.
He's getting bodied.
Okay, sure. So if it wasn't called if it was called like Dickerson, you would have made that same joke, but different.
100%. I'm making that connection.
He's finding that connection some way.
Yeah, he's making.
That's the whole thing about humans finding patterns, right?
Yeah.
Humans see patterns in everything, whether they're there or not.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. Let Smokey finish. We'll talk about it.
Right. Go ahead. Rashim Ike Bodyford, 27 of Pensacola, was sentenced Friday to 10 years in state prison, followed by 5 years of probation for 3 felony counts of having sex with another person without notifying that person that he had HIV, according to a news release by State Attorney Bill Edens.
How did he get 3 though? Did he have sex with multiple people?
Yes.
So he had sex with 3 people.
Yeah, 3 people came forward with HIV that he had been with.
It's very interesting, the person that now made an objection to someone sleeping with 3 people. I'm just... Just saying.
What?
Yeah, what do y'all think about that?
I said that Hollywood was the one who brought up the objection of him sleeping with 3 whole people.
You're calling hypocrisy?
Oh,
Yes.
Lord.
Yes, I am.
See, I see what we're doing here, JJ, because I brought out your crush, you're ringing it up. Okay, I see. All right, I see how it is.
Well, that's not what we're doing, actually.
No, I'm just saying you literally made the point.
See, I honestly
before.
don't really have a dog in that fight, so I'm actually not gonna care too much.
Yeah, but what do y'all think about this guy, man?
That's of the ones we've heard so far, that's probably the most menacing one, actually.
Well, yeah, I
Like,
mean, it's
That might be the worst one, actually.
like this is actually pretty nasty.
it's basically like assaulting a person so badly that they like retain an injury or like a disability. It's basically the same thing.
Essentially, yeah.
At least if you're doing it knowingly, which I assume he did based on how it was worded.
He did, yeah.
I mean, I think it was literally in the headline.
Yeah.
Did he did it?
He had been diagnosed previously before he had unprotected sex with these females.
See, okay, in the States, guys, it is, and I want to say it's punishable by death or definitely life in prison if you knowingly, because that's death that you're.
Well, they gave him 10 years. It says under the current Florida criminal punishment score sheet for these 3 counts of having sex with another person without notifying that person that he has HIV, Bodyford did not score in the range that allowed him to receive state prison as punishment. Since Bodyford did not score permissive state prison, the only way for Bodyford to receive a sentence of state prison was for the state to put the question of Bodyford's dangerousness to public before a jury. So he had to go to a jury trial.
So, okay, what I was saying is, in America, I guess if you meet the criteria and you knowingly have HIV and you pass it on to somebody else or multiple people without telling them that you are infected with the venereal disease, right?
Yes, but the worst one of all.
Yeah, I would consider AIDS worse than HIV, but
yeah, well, hand in hand.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is in America, that's a life sentence or death. What do you?
Well, it says here that the maximum sentence for this was 15 years in prison.
So what about you guys
what
over there?
with?
I mean, it's. I guess when it's different from what you expect, it's probably because on your end of the thing, it's probably a state law. I would assume that's the only reason I can think of why the punishment would be so severely different from what you expected. I don't know what it is around here.
For that specific thing, I don't know.
And see, that's like.
Do you?
It's very specific to know. I feel.
Yeah, do you guys have state laws and federal laws over there, or is it just
kind
of, sorta? We technically still do, but the federal laws, like if there's ever a conflict, federal law always overrides the state law, so to speak. So essentially, we don't essentially we have unified laws for Germany.
Interesting. Well, what do you got to say?
I mean, that's the whole thing about the death sentence, where technically in Hessia it's still
it's
legal,
legislature, but they can't execute.
But they can't execute people because it's like outruled throughout all of Germany.
Well, it was determined that he knowingly lied to one of the partners. Definitely.
That's a crime.
It is.
Yeah.
And thus, but they said he wasn't eligible for state prison unless it was put before a jury.
Oh, so he had to have a jury trial. Okay, I understand now. Y'all, I've said this before, and great state of Florida, y'all. The previous podcast we did, we actually gave y'all a thumbs up because there was something you did that I thought was pretty.
That was actually a great story that came out of Florida.
Pretty good, and y'all check out. It hasn't come out yet, but make sure y'all watch it.
It will by the time they see this. So it is out.
But I want to say, what do you guys think about this? Y'all know how you'll get some women, and they'll make up a false story. They'll say, this guy raped me, but this guy didn't rape her. Do you think she should go to jail for just making a false?
Yes, I agree.
I mean, yeah, of course. Like,
she's intentionally ruining someone's life.
The accusation, the wrongful accusation, is just as bad as the crime itself to me, honestly. But in this specific case, like, it's pretty obvious because the evidence is there. Because
but like, if you falsely accuse someone of rape,
that's
then everyone, like, unless it's like instantly resolved, everyone's gonna think that person's a rapist, And even
Right.
when like it's ruled that it wasn't, still a lot of people will either think that maybe it was just a lack of evidence, or other people just ignore that because like dude raped girl is a huge news story, but it turns out dude didn't rape girl is not a news story. So
I think the problem is
your
that
life is just ruined.
even if the issue is resolved later and charges are dropped, or whatever, like charges are dropped, there's no prosecution, that still has negative consequences because Smokey, we talked about the Sean Roden situation briefly. He was accused of rape, and not the IFBB but the organizer of the Mr. Olympia, which happens to be like in a month from now, immediately disqualified him from the competition without him even being charged. Now he's being charged, and now he might not be able to compete in this year's Olympia, even though he's innocent, if the court case isn't going to be completed within the next month, which is unlikely.
That kind of thing happens everywhere. I mean, not just sports, but also like all kinds of sports. For example, I know WWE is very strict on that. Certain charges are brought against you, they're just gonna let you loose, without the charges having been proven. And a lot of places that are public facing will just fire people when charges are brought up against them, independently of whether those are verified.
Let me get this right. Alex, you said a guy that was in Mr. Olympia can't perform in the because he didn't rape the girl, but the girl said he raped him?
No, we don't know that. He was accused. He's now being charged. He's now being charged. He's charged with rape, and the court case is going on. So far, no one knows whether he did it or not. It's not very obvious. We don't know. But the organizer of the Mr. Olympia, and that guy, by the way, is last year's Mr. Olympia. Like, he's the face of bodybuilding.
That's
for all
crazy.
Was disqualified from that competition now.
Which goes
and
to
if
show
he's
that
not proven
your
innocent, then he'll be not reinstated.
Your employer could go ahead and fire you at any moment just on the accusation. You don't have to be charged.
Right.
Well, if
his employer, he didn't get.
Yeah.
If they fire you without notice, like on a regular job, you can countersue. Then
it's not really his.
You can get some money out of them, but
like he didn't get his IFBB Pro card revoked, but
This is what I think, dude. If a woman says a guy raped her, and the guy didn't rape her, and they found out that this lady was lying, I think whatever his charge would have been, if he would have had to do 20 years in prison, then that's what she should have to do.
Obviously.
You agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have
let's get
to then make sure.
Get off of this time.
I was gonna say that you have to make sure that you can definitively, at that point, you have to once again, innocent until proven guilty. You have to prove that she intentionally lied about it, because otherwise, if it's just every charge that gets shot down, automatically the accuser gets jailed, then no one is gonna make any accusations, even if they're correct.
It would have to be a separate trial.
Yeah.
Right.
The issue with essentially with those types of charges is that if it's just two people involved and there's two conflicting opinions, there's not much objective evidence anywhere. So that's what the issue with those types of situations is.
Even though it's innocent until proven guilty, in the United States, it's definitely the opposite.
Oh no, you're definitely guilty until proven innocent.
You are guilty.
In practice, yes. In theory,
if you were being held innocent until proven guilty, you would not be in jail in the first place. Right. You would not be incarcerated. You wouldn't be held.
But here's the other side, though. Look at the other side. That's true, obviously. But look at the other side of issues, though. Because of those cases surfacing and that happening so frequently, every time like a case like that comes up, there will be just as many people now saying that, like basically going with the accusation. People will be saying like, she's making false accusations, assuming that, which also we can't assume, which means that, the people who make those false accusations, are hurting other women who are legitimately, rape victims.
And not only that,
who then might not be believed.
Yeah, and it's defaming the guy's character. That's defamation of character right there.
Of course.
Can we get off the rape topic, please?
Yeah, let's
sure.
do that.
That's good.
The WTF.
Yeah, that concludes the WTF, guys. Now we gonna get into some explain this. Guys, I'm sure you guys got a picture over there.
Yeah, we got the picture. I got the image. I'm gonna I'm gonna grab that real quick. Or can you do that actually?
Well, I have to exit full screen, but yes, I can.
Yeah. We'll open that on the screen.
So, do we have a picture? Oh yeah, we got it.
Yeah, we have a picture. So it's a mugshot.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
It is a great mugshot.
And I'm gonna go ahead
wonderful.
and post this on. Oh my god!
Look at this lovely
man.
lady.
Yeah, so let's give them the opportunity to explain this mugshot. Explain this picture, guys.
I'm not sure. Maybe she was like, I think they arrested her like at a hair salon when she was like halfway through her procedure.
First of all, I would like to point out that this person of, to be honest, indiscriminate gender.
Yeah.
I mean,
This could be a dude. I mean, look at the side shot.
JJ hit it on the head because Alex said, "Well, this she," and JJ's like, "I don't know if that's a she, dude."
well, I mean, at the end of the day, we live in a day and age where whether or not that's a she is on him/her.
Yeah.
Slash
But
them.
look at the side shot. Like the facial features, this could easily be a dude.
Yes.
And this is wearing a
Of
wig.
course.
Yeah, that does appear to be a wig.
I mean, it's not even a full wig. It's like, why
No.
did you put it at the front of your head? Like,
I feel like this looks like kind of like the fallout of if you fell asleep drunk somewhere, and
got, like,
you
also
had
the
really mean
crimson.
people around.
yeah.
Like
People start
me-
smearing lipstick on you, shaving your head.
I mean, like that's the thing. Like
that's
that,
it,
the only thing that's
yeah.
missing is like the drawing of a dick on the forehead.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is a dude. Like this is a dude who just like drank too much at a bar, and his homies just made him look like an ugly woman, and he got
Dude,
arrested.
all right. Let
That
me.
unibrow is real though.
You think?
Oh
so?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a real unibrow.
Dude, that looks drawn on.
It looks drawn on, but
Oh,
I
that's
think
strong
that's
on. That's Black Sharpie, dude. That's all Black Sharpie.
Yeah, that's what I
Nah,
think.
you sure?
Yeah, the
It
hair,
looks
like you
like
can
that's
tell by the
drawn on.
color.
Yeah,
You can tell by the color.
It's too dark.
It's black, and
Okay,
the actual,
yeah,
like
it
the
is.
real hair is
It is
like
much
light
darker.
brown.
All right, so if I had to explain this, first of all, this looks like the science project I did in 4th grade. Not
which
only
involved
that,
a Barbie doll and dynamite.
Yeah.
right, or a nuclear. This just looks like I don't know, man.
Rough.
But okay, so here's my thing. Okay, first, do you know what this? I don't know. He, she. So we're gonna say it. Do you know what its charge is?
No, I don't have the backstory for this one or a name that I could look up. So
Well, man, I mean, it's definitely a dude.
I think it is a guy.
Dude, oh my god, imagine
Could
what
be,
the
yeah.
prisoners are gonna do to this guy in there.
Oh yeah.
If he walks in there like
Especially if
that.
they throw him- Yeah,
Right.
if they throw him in the men's
They're
jail.
gonna, like, ooh, you got some pretty lips. Ooh, look at them lips.
Doubtful.
You got a
Doubtful.
blonde wig too. Yeah, we're on some weird topics today, brother.
So far, it's not our fault.
Nope, it's all been on you.
Right.
Why do you suppose he shaved his hair like
You
that?
can turn the
though?
picture back off if you
Yeah.
want to.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why not have it? Why not have the wig in the front? Like, why is it like? I don't know. And this is from Florida.
No, I don't have a backstory for that one. I just
Oh, but it just might be. We don't,
It
you don't know
might
that it's
be.
not from Florida.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I would
chances
not doubt
are
it.
it is.
Yeah.
Knowing Florida.
Yeah, it might be.
I'm gonna give it a 75% chance that that's in Florida.
I would agree. So, with that being said, do you guys want to play a game of drugs or mental illness? Would you say that
let's
this
play
is
some
drugs,
games, man.
or is this mental illness?
Well,
Isn't addiction a mental illness?
I was about to say that
So
those usually
both?
go hand in hand.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
but
And
it's more fun to figure out if it's a genuine
Yeah.
mental illness or if
Yeah, for it's drugs.
So
So if you had
I'm
to
pretty
pick
sure for
drugs-
this one, drugs for sure. But like I said, this is alcohol involvement for sure.
Well, or anything else that knocks you out.
yeah.
Or numbs you to a
guessing
point
crack.
where you don't care.
Crack?
yeah, I'm guessing
Yeah,
crack.
I'd say crack too.
That goes a little harder than the M word, so I'm guessing crack.
Yeah, I feel like we should get off of this because it's a little weird. But yeah, man, well, that was explain this, and that was definitely a great explain this. So thank you for that interesting picture, Smoke.
Oh
Dog.
yeah, I'll keep them coming.
Yes, sir. So with that being said, we got some segments from our
Yep.
guys across
Yep.
the pond. What we got over there, guys?
we got some facts of the week, because we like to
face the facts.
Yeah, face the facts. Bring some applicable knowledge into the world every week.
Oh,
and
it has to be applicable, okay?
Yeah, applicable count. Like, if you can rip it out at the party and people will be impressed, it counts as applicable. So if you guys have any facts, you can.
I'm gonna need both of you guys to spell applicable.
APPLICABLE.
Okay. All right.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to ask is, do you not think my mugshots would be the hit of the party?
Hell no.
Come
People
on.
would leave that party. Like,
You bring that out like, oh yeah, look at the
show?
stuff I got on my phone.
Right.
No. Fun facts are way better. All right, JJ, do you want to start? Should I start?
Well, let me start this off by saying, I'm not sure from which angle to best approach this, but you know how there's giant cables going through the ocean to transmit the internet?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're probably using one of those right now.
Yes.
I mean, we're definitely.
Yes.
One of those transatlantic cables, just because of how big they are and how much time data has to travel through it, can store about as much data as like a regular thumb drive. Like, I saw
Are you
it
serious?
listed as like
Just the
18.
cable?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like 18 gigabytes. I've seen listed for like one of the cables. So if you were to, in theory, loop the cable together, and it wasn't gonna lose any power,
Yeah.
you could store 18 gigabytes of data in that cable.
That's pretty good.
That's it.
Well,
That's crazy.
I guess based on the time period that
yeah,
they
exactly.
were installed.
That goes. Also, like the data goes through there at near light speed.
Yeah.
So while
Yeah.
the cables are very long,
It's not a
data also
storage
doesn't stay
device.
in there for long.
It's not like a storage device.
It's not meant for storage.
No, it's a transmission device. It's just so much data that can travel.
It's literally
through.
just because of the delay.
Yeah.
Like the delay between when it enters and when it leaves times the amount of data that is transferable at one time equals the effective storage space.
Very technical fact, but that is
That's
interesting.
crazy. I don't know if that's true, man.
Why?
Think about.
You can list your source, man.
Well, no. I mean, the source doesn't mean anything because, in my opinion, it doesn't mean anything because I don't trust anything from NASA. I'm coming a little bit online. But the reason I didn't say that, let's analyze this. You said about 18 gigabytes, right?
Yes.
18
And
gig.
we're talking about one of those massive cables under the ocean, right?
Yes.
Okay, 18 gigabytes. What we're doing right now, I'm sure requires, let's say, 10 gigabytes. Now, imagine how many other people.
No, it wouldn't be 10 gigabytes streaming all at once, though.
Yeah, like
give me a number.
maybe the entire trend. Actually,
Like a few megs.
wait.
Okay, now imagine how many people are doing this across the world.
Wait,
When
this
were these? Do you
Stre-
know
it's streamed
when
at
these
7
were installed?
we are currently
This-
streaming
this
at you at
is-
720p.
We're not talking about like
That's-
18 gigabytes like that's transmitting between us, like Germany and the United States. We're talking like at a time.
At any given time,
that's data
in the
traveling
cable up
from
to-
us to you at light speed. If those were a storage container, not a transmission device. That's like if you got your cable, right? Like this one, right? Your little headphone cord. If you put that together, just like it's a transmission cord, obviously, as a storage device, it would be able to store 18 gigabytes of data, which a cable like that obviously can't
Yeah.
do. He was
Okay,
pointing out
I
that those
get what
cables
you're
are so
saying.
huge. Yeah,
It's like I think the calculation is like half the round trip time times the transmission rate.
like something.
Like you can calculate
Smokey was
that.
gonna smoke. What were you gonna ask him?
Oh, I was saying, do you know when exactly these were laid? The date, I mean the year at least.
I do not.
I think he just spoke of like the average one, like one of those. I think.
let's
Yeah,
take a guess.
I will. I mean, I can look it up, but
Just as cool. I think just like an average one. I don't know.
yeah. Let's see.
Not too long ago.
Internet was popularized
Late 80s,
What do you say?
probably.
in
I'd
the
say the late
nine-
90s.
I was
80s,
thinking late
probably
90s.
Probably late 90s, early 2000s. When the cables were laid.
transatlantic
Yeah.
cables. Yeah.
That things make sense. Yeah.
And you think in the late 90s you needed a hard drive just to hold 4 gigabytes, whereas now you could fit, terabytes onto a tiny
phone.
little. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Again, it's not intended to store data. That's why it's so
It's intended to
little for like
transmit it,
as being
to
as huge of a
transmit, yeah.
cable as it is.
If that is
the
a
point.
fact, that was a great, interesting fact of the week.
Yeah. I got some history facts. I actually have 3, but I'm gonna use one of those, and y'all can pick which one basically. But one of them is just random and weird, and then one is fascinating, and the other one is pretty cool and relates to music.
Okay. We like music.
Yeah, but we like weird also.
Yeah. What do you call it? Esoteric?
Esoteric.
Esoteric. I'm not sure if esoteric. So you want the first one?
Sure.
Yeah.
The random one?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so this one, I had this written down for a while. There was a Greek philosopher, like way back when there were philosophers in Greece. And let me not...
I'm pretty sure there still are philosophers in Greece.
Let me butcher his name real quick. Aeschylus. Aeschylus, right? And the way that this man died is because an eagle dropped a turtle on his head because that eagle mistook his bald head for a rock, which eagles use to crack turtles.
No, the part about them killing turtles that way I knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's great.
Because they'll grab turtles and they kill them by dropping them on a rock to crack their shell.
That's like
Any
one
of their prey that's big.
Yeah, they do that with goats.
Yeah.
They'll pick up
Throw
goats.
them off a cliff. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's the whole thing about the way he said how he dies. Kind of reminds me of the whole like you're more likely to die by a falling coconut than by a shark kind of thing.
Which is
because
that's true.
Although the whole vending machine and coconut ones are always based on the fact that those are two things that humans for some reason tend to violently shake.
Yeah.
Which makes them way more likely to kill you.
Exactly. Coconut trees, vending machine.
It's the whole thing about like how cows are more likely to kill than sharks as well, I believe. Because like you wrangle cows against their will, you stay away from sharks.
Some people wrangle cows.
Let me see a shark. I'll violently shake the hell out of that thing,
That
man.
shark would eat your face off.
I'll show what's up.
Depends on the size of the shark, but yes.
All right, you got facts too?
I do. You brought up a fact downstairs a minute ago. You remember you had said, "Did you know something?" I can't remember what it was.
Not right offhand.
God, all right, but I have a fact. You know, this is a true story. You know how, or a true fact. You know how they say everyone has their own, in like their thumbprint is, you know.
I feel like we've had this discussion before.
Unique.
Yeah, didn't we do this?
I feel like we've done this thing before.
Yeah, actually you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Oh well.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that.
A minute ago, you were just downstairs. You were like, "Did you know that?" I can't remember.
I don't remember it right offhand.
God, we suck at life, man.
Licking doorknobs is illegal on other planets. That's a SpongeBob.
I bet it is.
Really?
It's a SpongeBob. Yeah, people are gonna love me for that if they know it, and you guys clearly are not cultured, including JJ.
Damn, I got a good. I got a bunch of fact of the week, man, but I can't
Give me
think
one.
of them now.
Did you know the average kid asks 300 questions per day?
Yeah,
I have heard that before.
Yeah. I actually heard it with the average like 5-year-old or something. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean that's like the average kid is a weird thing to say because the definition of kid varies so much. But yeah,
Like the average 5-year-old.
Oh,
I've heard that before. Yeah, that's when they
Based
speak
on a
when they learn to speak fluently.
2013 UK study from
Yeah,
online
they just-
retailer littlewoods.com observed young children and recorded the questions they asked to the adults around them. The children tended to turn to their mothers for answers, and these moms could end up answering an average of nearly 300 questions per day.
I ask 300 questions a day. So
Mom,
what
why
does
are
that say
strange
about me?
people following me? Why am I being recorded?
Yeah.
Why are they checking every time I ask a question?
Yeah, but that's how it comes
man,
together.
Y'all, I had a really good one.
Oh, I've got another great one.
I got a good fact for you, Hollywood. I got a good fact for you. How about you just use it's I'm not gonna say it out loud, but I'm gonna give you a hint and I want you to use it as a fact, okay?
All right,
it relates to the shape of the planet.
Man, come on, bro. Come on now. Y'all are
Give me
being
the
some
fact.
trolls
Cheap
today.
shots.
Give me
Man.
the fact. Give me the fact.
The fact.
Come on.
I know what. I don't personally believe this, but I know what you're going for. The Earth is not technically a perfect spherical object.
No,
actually
it's not. It's not.
No, it's actually an oblate spheroid, which is more shaped like a pear.
Yeah, that's
But
a
if you
very
ask me,
good
I
fact.
don't
I'm glad. Didn't you say
you just
in a podcast recently? I listened to that. I listened to a podcast recently. You were talking about stuff, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting around to the Earth being round."
He's having a hard time letting go, though.
I mean, I got more. Man, we're not gonna get into it, but I got more and more that just keeps coming on.
You'll
gotta
get there,
stop
man. You'll
watching
get
those
there.
YouTube videos, man.
Yeah, so you just tell the entire trash talk community that.
Stop watching YouTube videos except for us.
Yeah.
And us.
And us, yeah.
And
Any-
y'all
any-
are part of us.
Trash talkers.
Any channel
That's the
that
only-
has trash in their name is fine.
Right.
Nothing
Yeah.
else.
Man, I
Fact.
can't wait for the day that we get big enough to the point where we can either come to Germany and sit in y'all's
yeah.
studio, or y'all come here and we all sit in the same room together and have that. I
Yeah.
can't wait for that, man.
It's
Dude,
on the way.
that'll be great, yeah.
It's gonna happen, y'all.
Be definitely great to make that happen, for sure. Gotta keep
Right.
working
We
on
both
it.
have hundreds more subscribers than when we first started doing these.
Oh man, dude, I'm sure that I don't want to bloat or gloat a little bit, but in the past week, man, we almost got 200 in a month. We almost got 200 new subscribers in a month.
Mhm.
200 months
Great.
is pretty good.
Decent.
I think we did close to 500 one month, though.
Well, yeah, and we might do it again this
Maybe.
month.
We have a shot with the Hearthstone expansion.
Oh, because of the new expansion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that always boosts us
Exactly.
very well.
Our stats are very much like cyclically affected by
Yeah,
Hearthstone
like
years.
there's a 4-month cycle.
We need a gimmick like that.
That's what I'm saying. I like that they have that's their
Their niche.
Yeah, they do Hearthstone and the sports board and the podcast.
Uh-huh.
You know, me and you, we try to put our hands in everything.
Everything.
You know, we do it all.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, the
but-
way we did it is just we
We made different channels. That's the
well,
point. We
that
split.
and also we started out playing a lot of games. I mean, gaming was always a bit of a focus, but like a few months into having the channel, we started playing Hearthstone for the first time. And as a matter of fact, you played Hearthstone
Yeah.
for the very first time,
on the air. Yeah.
and that's how I introduced him to it. And that's when we decided that we were going to do more of it. And then
this game is pretty good.
when we saw that
Man.
was a thing that people were interested in, we focused more on that.
Yeah, I want to get Smokey. I know, but I really want to get just give me 5 games. If you give me 5 games of Hearthstone, I promise you will be addicted. But I know. But I want to say the reason we like to put our hands in everything, it kind of goes off the trash talker name. Because if you go in somebody's trash can, you're gonna find a little bit of
A
everything.
mix of everything.
That's why we're the trash talkers. We do everything. You're gonna find
That does
diapers.
make sense.
You're gonna find tampons. You're gonna find food.
So you're doing
gonna
diapers
find-
now?
Yeah, we talk.
Are you gonna talk about diapers next?
tampons.
Okay. Sure. Good idea.
Yeah.
Great.
Y'all know what I meant. man.
And we're getting into topic 2.
Yeah, great.
Diapers.
Diapers. What are they even good for?
Any more facts of the week, guys?
No, we all got our facts out. Let's do the second discussion. You've had a topic prep right here.
All right. So what we're gonna get into is: do you guys think that? I mean, we all know, we can all be in agreement that there is our devices, our personal communication devices, are actually listening to us in some way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
and giving us targeted advertising, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
All right. So,
Of course.
do you think it's being used for any nefarious purposes?
The
Yes.
areas. Yeah, I mean, of course. Yeah.
Have you not mentioned targeted advertising just now?
Targeted advertising at itself, but that's like okay, that's like an annoyance and an inconvenience, but still like it's
Targeted advertising has certain nefarious aspects though when they try to market certain products
Yeah.
to certain groups that are vulnerable to certain influences.
yeah, for sure. Targeted advertisement is still data abuse in my opinion for sure. But
Yeah, but
of course.
Is it used as a bad thing? Is that a
Yeah.
bad?
I mean, yes, that's a
Could I-
bad thing. Yeah.
Could a
They're pushing
principality
shit on you.
be using it against its own people?
Yeah.
Of course,
what-
yeah. China's doing that. We're on the road to doing that. As a matter of fact,
yeah.
we are probably doing it. In a
China
way.
is the one country that's definitely openly doing it.
China's openly doing it. Everyone,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Are they really?
every government who can do it will do it, no doubt.
You know, this is something. Two things I want to bring up. But the first one is, I think our phones are listening to every word we say, and the reason I say that
Of
is
course.
when you guys downloaded Discord, when you downloaded Hearthstone, when you downloaded Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
whatever app that you use, you know when you download it and that big page comes up and it says terms of agreement. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, microphone's
Yeah.
always in there.
Have you ever read the terms of agreement from the first word to the last word?
No,
one
and
ever
no one
has ever
does.
done that.
No.
Also,
Right. So
the apps request permissions to use certain aspects of your phone.
Camera, microphone,
And
even though they might not even...
Virtually every popular app ever asks for more permissions than they need. I think there's been studies done on that, actually. Yeah. And Android actually changed their operating system in a way that you now have to agree to certain things like microphone usage whenever the app requires it, rather than all at once when it starts downloading.
It always like allow this and this to access the microphone, agree or not. When
they change that.
You're starting off that request. You're starting that request off by saying, okay, I want to have the Trash Talkers on my split screen. So that's a request from you. You're requesting a service from Discord. So now you requested it. So now they're requesting you. Are you sure you want us to access this? But who's to say that in the terms of agreement, nobody reads it. In the terms of agreement, it says at all times or within 8 hours of the day, we're going to record your calls. We're going to record your voice messages.
Any call can and will be recorded.
Yeah, basically. Just to send you advertisement, and you may not be aware of it. Nobody's going to read it.
Well, they wouldn't word it.
I mean, they wouldn't word it like that. It's like, we're using trackers to be there.
You don't know that. You've
using
never
your data to optimize their advertising algorithms.
They do it. They don't word it that way.
I'm just saying they're not making it as transparent. Like, even if you read the terms of service, unless you know what they're implying, it doesn't help.
It doesn't say we're conducting mass surveillance. It says like we're using trackers or whatever, that sort of thing. But
analyzing user behavior to optimize the advertising.
It means the same thing. I firmly believe that a smartphone, like for example, records everything.
It's also great, like the whole we don't share your data with anyone except for our partner or something. It's like that means they're sharing your data with everyone.
Yeah, that's always a lie.
And are y'all okay with that? Are y'all okay with them listening in to what you're talking about?
No.
It would be a lot cooler if they didn't.
For sure not. It's hard to take action against it, but no, I'm not.
But now, why aren't you okay with that? Because if you're not doing anything wrong, if you're not talking about committing a mass murder,
because it's a matter of privacy, they have no business listening in on me. Mm-hmm. And for that, even just for that argument, it doesn't matter if I'm doing anything wrong or not. They have no business doing that. Have y'all ever read the book 1984 by George Orwell or heard of it?
I know of it. I've never actually read it cover to cover.
I definitely recommend reading. It's very eye opening. So if you ever get around to doing that or listen to the audiobook or whatever, it is very eye opening, and it reflects pretty well on like more and more every year on actual society. So no, they have no business listening in, and that is
84, but.
What's it about?
It's about basically total government control. I mean, I haven't read it cover to cover. Of course, Alex could probably give you a better definition.
It's about. So it was written in 1948.
It's Big Brother.
Big Brother.
It literally, I think that book literally coined the term Big Brother, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was written in 1948, and really? About how the author imagined stuff would be in 1984 or the future, for that matter. Mm-hmm. So it's total surveillance. Basically.
There is, by the way, a TV show now called 1983 that I assume that first of all, by the description, seems to have the same themes, and I assume takes place before the story of the book.
Maybe.
That's on Netflix right now.
I'm not going to spoil like the whole story part of it, but read it, man. It's really good.
Definitely.
Interesting.
And important too. Like it's important to get that sort of thought out there.
This is what brought me and Smokey up on this topic, is because we have been having some of the weirdest things happening to us lately. A few podcasts ago, we were talking about in the Bible, it said, and this is what happened to me in the Bible. We were talking about subliminal messages and companies. So we're sitting here talking to each other, and in the Bible, it said, Adam and Eve and God and the serpent came, and Eve took a bite out of an apple, and that apple corrupted all of humanity. Now,
but it didn't necessarily say an apple.
Right. But as soon as we got done, right, you're right. But as soon as we were done with that podcast, you know what popped up on my phone? A YouTube suggestion video that says it was not an apple that Eve bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, bro. We just got done talking about that. Like, has that ever happened to you guys?
Something similar also is often observable. I feel, although that might be confirmation bias, when you're talking about something and then you're Googling it right after, like you type in 2 letters and it auto-completes basically to just what you talked about, despite logically speaking, it shouldn't be the first thing that comes up because it should be the most searched.
Yeah.
You know, I literally got. I was talking to Alex just the other day in Discord, and got a suggestion for the exact topic that we were talking about in Discord.
Right.
It's obviously happening cross-platforms.
That's crazy.
Obvious. Yeah, it's
dude.
trackers.
Well,
all over
I mean,
there.
cross-platform is not even necessarily the case because the browser or whatever suggested it to you probably also has access to your microphone. It doesn't need to take it from Discord; it takes it directly from your
were
device.
texting. We weren't talking.
Oh, you
were
weren't. You're texting.
We're
See,
texting.
that's
Oh.
crazy. Y'all weren't even using your voice?
No.
Nope.
Well, I mean, key tracking, key logging would be a
keyword
possibility,
tracking.
but yeah.
Yeah, it was obviously keyword tracking.
Y'all say that y'all aren't okay with this, but it seems like y'all are a little bit more susceptible to being okay with it than me and this guy are.
What do you
Like,
mean?
meaning, because y'all are like, not defending it, but you're like, well, yeah, you know, it's tracking, it's keyword, you know, but we're over here like,
Yeah,
what
we're not
the
defending.
hell?
We're just saying that's what it is.
We understand how it works.
We condemn it, man.
I'm literally a computer scientist,
No,
okay?
we just saying like this is how it works. We're not defending it by any means. It's terrible. It shouldn't happen. Of course,
It really
But
shouldn't,
that's-
man.
but that's how it
And-
works.
There's
Say it.
this can go bad at any moment, though. All
Oh,
it takes
sure.
is the right empowerment of a certain entity, and
Oh, of
this
course.
could go
They're called
completely
Google.
south.
Yeah, they're called big tech firms, dude.
I mean, that's also a thing, like, Google can specifically block certain results from the searches, obviously, and since they're a private
Oh,
company,
yeah.
they're allowed to do that, and
Google is the most powerful entity in the
yeah,
world.
they've literally manipulated
It is. They are the
elections by
umbrella corp.
blocking certain
Wait.
results and stuff like that.
More powerful than
Would
any
y'all agree?
government and instance. Yeah. What?
You firmly believe that Google is the most powerful.
Google is the umbrella corporation.
You think
Yeah.
Well,
over
for-
the TSA, over FBI,
Or
over
Sky
the-
Net.
Bruh, bruh.
the
Over
TSA.
anything.
Wait,
Over any
TSA, is
government,
that
any
a real
bank,
thing?
everything.
Well, yeah, it's a real thing, but they're like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
what do they do? Like, the thing
Who's
is,
the TSA?
The TSA
Google's
is
there.
it's airport security, man.
Transportation Security.
Yeah.
Like, they,
I thought you were about to say public transportation. I'm like, what the hell? Sorry, guys.
but yeah,
But you can think of any entity like that, any alphabet group that you want to think of.
I mean,
I
the
want
Google corporation is literally like the mother corporation is literally called Alphabet.
Mhm, yeah.
I want you to bring up what you said. How do you implement censorship without people noticing? Tell them that. You remember how you said you just
Oh, yeah. Well, any kind of control that you want to implement, you do it one minor step at a time because of the experiment with the rats, where, how do you boil a rat without the rat going crazy and trying to escape? You turn it up 1 degree at a time, and eventually the rat
Yeah.
cooks itself without knowing it. You turn it up 1 degree a day. The rat will
You
eventually
listen-
be
you-
dead and be none the wiser. And that's how you take away freedoms, is one small step at a time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So unknowingly, you just listed one of the core principles of that book of 1984. That's correct. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, he's never read that, dude.
See, for example, I'll give you an example because that's not really a spoiler. But what they'll do in the book is like every half a year or so, they'll reduce the chocolate rations from like 30 grams to 20 grams, and then they'll erase every record that the rations were ever 30 grams, and they'll publicly announce that the chocolate rations have been raised to 20 grams.
That's how supermarkets work too.
Yeah.
Like supermarkets will literally mark up prices right before sales.
Yeah.
So the sales price are the same as regular, but because
like a
they're
discount.
listed as a discount, people will buy it.
yeah, just
That's
so
what
it
I
looks like a discount. Do y'all have Black
Exactly.
Friday over there?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's an American import. Like we're not doing it as much.
No,
and
it's not as crazy,
Become more and more common the more globalized the world gets.
People
basically.
aren't like brawling in malls and shit, but
Oh
it's,
my
it's a-
God, y'all! I don't big news over there, but we definitely need to talk about this. Something huge happened in the United States a few days, if not today or yesterday. The mass shooting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's like
Y'all heard about
all
that?
the time. there's
In
mass
Texas,
shootings. There's El Paso.
Like
Yeah.
I
like a
think
guy
there's
just
been like 3 in the past 2
There's like
weeks.
one in Dayton, one in El Paso. There's there's one that was Gilroy,
Yeah.
the garlic festival, like a week ago.
Yes.
There was El
Did-
Paso. There was Dayton.
Does anybody know the? I'm sorry to everybody listening to this. I'm not really up on this, but does anybody know the story behind it? Like, what was his purpose? Was he?
Well, I mean,
I think it was racially motivated.
Yeah,
Was
the
it?
guy went to Texas specifically to shoot, I believe, Hispanics.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Only
That's also, by the
only
way,
Hispanics.
Yes.
yeah.
Racially motivated.
Yeah. He literally said stuff like, "Oh yeah, I was motivated by Trump," blah blah blah. That sort of stuff.
Oh, I was about to ask. Could you guess which? Political
very
party?
much white supremacy.
To be fair, when I say Hispanics, I wouldn't be surprised if he would have shot anyone that's not white. But Texas, huge Hispanic population. They're just the people that happen to be the main targets.
He was targeting Hispanics.
Well,
Sorry.
Especially in El Paso. That's right next to Juarez, Mexico.
That's right near. That is the border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
So that was definitely racially motivated.
I know, dude. This is about to kind of blow your mind a little bit.
Okay.
I kind of think Trump is doing some good stuff.
Explain.
The economy is freaking great right now, and you can't lie. Be honest here.
The economy is
I know,
generally
I've
speaking
talked to
not
Alex
based on the
about
current
yeah. Smokey knows what I'm about to drop on you, man. So
I believe that's what I just said, right? Like
here's the thing. The economy is a very, very slow cycle. Generally, whatever the economy is good under... No, listen. Whatever the economy is good under a politician, that is the work that happened 4 to 5 years before that. So if Trump right now brags about good economy, that's from Obama's administration's economical work.
But
the economy is a huge cycle.
Reacts immediately.
So is the stock market going up?
Yes, it has been up overall.
Yeah, man.
Since the Trump
it has been slightly up, yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to disrespect you guys, but we kind of have a little more. I mean, it affects us a lot more than it affects you guys.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
and the reason I say that is because literally, I had a situation going on where I knew somebody looking for a job, and this guy right here said, "Well, now's the time to do it because the economy's up." I literally got off the phone with him and called my mom and asked if she knew somebody that was hiring, and she said the exact same thing he said. I mean, within a 5-minute conversation. Well, now's the time to do it because the economy is up.
Well, because unemployment is lower right now.
Well, yeah, because
I mean,
probably like NBC and Fox News said the night before the economy's up, right? People reiterate that sort of stuff.
So
Like the regular person just reads the news headlines. The regular person doesn't analyze economical reports. That's not how it works. Also, there's different measuring sticks for the economy. Low unemployment rate isn't like the only like how do you call it desirable goal of economic policies, because the unemployment is sort of a counterbalance with inflation, and there's quite a lot of other factors that play into that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But it's also a lot of the guys who basically own companies will react to certain political situations also.
Oh yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Well, there's fear. I mean, there's fear when a lot of times when you get a Democratic president, people, the company owners will fear the oncoming depression or recession or whatever they fear just because they listen to Fox News or whatever.
Yeah,
so
because then
accordingly.
Because God beware, some president might actually make them pay livable wages to people.
You're right. And Alex, please, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but this brings back to what we were talking about. You said it makes people react to that, right?
Yes.
That goes back to our phones listening to us and feeding us advertisement. They're listening to what we're saying, so now they're feeding us advertisement. So it's basically the same thing.
Well, if they know by your profile that you tend to be conservative or whatever, they're going to give you more conservative news.
Oh, right. Of course, yeah.
Something that feeds right into
echo chamber, political bubble.
Yeah,
that's how social media works.
Also, Google, for example, is really good at analyzing data to the point where there's been cases where like they've shown ads for like baby nutrition and stuff to pregnant women that did not know they were pregnant yet. Yeah. But because their behavior changed, the Google algorithm detected it before they did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
True.
It's crazy. It's amazing at the same time. I mean,
that technology is so advanced.
Yeah.
I'm
AI, man.
Yeah. I'm curious on what you guys think about this since JJ just brought this up. How do you guys feel? What's your stance on abortion?
Tough. Okay, I'm gonna lay out the argument again. I personally don't have a concrete opinion because there's a question to me that would have to be answered for that. That's not really answerable. So here's the thing: practical scenario, right? We're talking about a moral question, right?
Yeah.
So would you
morality.
agree that would you agree that aborting a kid basically like a day before birth, like a fully developed fetus, is immoral?
See, that's
that would
Wait,
be immoral.
You think so?
would
Wait
you also
a minute.
agree? Okay.
You think that would be immoral? The day before the baby's supposed to be born?
Well,
And
is
a
it?
public
Is it? Is it to
consensus,
you?
Yes, that would be immoral.
We're not talking
Is that
about the
immoral?
public.
No, to you. Morality
Yeah.
is subjective. Is it immoral to you? Would you say that aborting a baby like hours before it's scheduled to be born is immoral? Would you say that's immoral?
My opinion,
Yeah.
I equate this to the same thing as homosexuals getting married. I'm not gay, so it doesn't affect me. That's not my body, so it doesn't affect me.
That's not.
That's
that was
not
not
the
the question.
No.
That was not
That
the
makes
question.
perfect sense. I'm not having
that was
the
not the
baby.
question.
She wants.
I agree with you though. I
Dude,
say,
dude, Hollywood,
you know,
Hollywood.
Did you literally just bring up the
Someone shoots up 15 people. You were not involved. Do you not care? Like, do you not have moral judgment on it? Obviously, you would say
No, it's
also-
not. It's not my body. I don't care what you do with your body.
Did
It's
you
not my
just bring up the point just to say that you don't have an opinion on it?
body. No,
So you don't have an
it's
opinion.
not my body. If
Okay, but what if it was the day after?
Oh,
and you
okay,
have an
okay,
opinion?
but what?
yes, I have an opinion then, because if the baby's already out of the womb, that is a life. But if their baby is still inside of another hold on, if that baby is inside of somebody, and they want it's their body, it's in my body, it's inside of me. So if I want to do whatever I want, that's inside of me. Now, once it's out of you, that's a different story. But once it's in me, I can do whatever I want. It's my body.
That's the public debate now. Is when does a child actually become an actual child?
And that's the
Not just-
thing. So Smokey, I'm just gonna talk to you because you seem to agree. So, aborting a kid
Nah.
before, like,
You know
a
the whole
day
thing about
before
echo
birth.
chambers?
Yeah, a day
Yeah.
before birth is immoral. You'd say, right?
Yeah, I would say a day before.
Okay. So
Yeah.
now aborting a single cell, like right after conception, just a single cell, no fetus or anything, just a single cell. Terminating
Heartbeat
that.
or no heartbeat?
Single
Yeah.
cell
Nothing.
doesn't have
Single
heartbeat.
cell.
It literally doesn't have a heart.
conception. Nothing.
No, that's birth control.
That's
But that's
okay,
the-
right? So and here's the thing.
I would
And here's
say,
the thing.
yeah. I mean, it's really tough, man. It really is tough to.
It's
to
a
make
single
these
cell. It doesn't have a nervous system. It doesn't have a
I
brain
can
yet.
I can tell you personally, if I got someone pregnant and there was a kid in there, there's no way I would tell them to abort the kid under any circumstance, because I caused this and I'm gonna see it through. I mean, it was my fault. I'm gonna take care of this. Now,
Yeah,
also,
okay.
I'm not gonna go out on a limb and tell other people what they can and
But
can't do.
hold on, but I'm gonna let you speak. But let's say you had a baby with this lady, right?
Mhm.
And you have been planning. Oh, I got the name. We got the room picked. 3 months in, she comes to you and she's like, "Hey, I want to have an abortion. You okay with that?"
That's a different
tough,
question,
man.
but
I
it's
would
also
have to
interesting.
be in that situation to know how I react.
Titan, go.
I really don't know how I would react right offhand.
That's a different question.
Because
But
I would
to
have
make
to
my
be in that situation.
to make
What
my
about you
point
guys?
again.
I'm sorry
though,
to cut you off. What'd you say,
Yeah.
Jared?
is I'm still trying to argue the moral question of is abortion to be considered okay or not. So I'm just going to say this for me. So I'm saying that logically understanding my moral system would disallow aborting a baby like a day before birth, but would also not assign moral value to like the single cell right after conception, because that's not anything. That's no nervous. So terminating that doesn't have a moral value. Terminating that is fine. The fully functioning fetus that is about to be born does have moral value. So aborting that's not fine. So to say that abortion is okay, you would have to find a spot, a threshold in the process between the two stages, where you say, starting now, it's no longer fine. Like up until this point, good. What's the exact point, like during a pregnancy, where abortion then becomes immoral? And that point is hard to define.
It is. It's really hard to define, and that's why I try not to take part in those debates. But
Yeah, same.
I mean, I look at both sides of the spectrum. I mean, for one, it's immoral to discontinue a child's life, but there's also the question of population control also. So there has to be a happy medium somewhere,
Okay.
but I can't be the one to say where that is.
That's also at least not a primary moral question then.
No,
population thing is one of those points that I also like to bring up. The problem is
Because if that were your primary argument, you could say shooting someone contributes to population.
the problem is
Exactly.
that's an argument you can't base that around. So while it is a thought, you can never.
We're debating the morality of the action.
There has to be a happy medium in there somewhere.
Yes.
Exactly, and that medium you have to find.
Yeah, we're going off of public perception. I want to know, Alex, yes or no, are you okay with abortion?
I do not know, and I explained to you just right now why.
I heard you. So, all right, JJ, are you okay with abortion? Yes or no? Okay. Both of you guys are studying right now for a big test, right?
I'm done. Personally.
Not exactly right now.
I'm done for these finals. JJ got some more coming
I just did one like a few days ago, but the next one's like in 3 weeks. So, but just make your point. Just make your point.
Yeah, y'all are in school. Let's say both of you guys get a phone call when you wake up by a girl that you just so happen to have a one night stand, and she says, "I'm pregnant, and I want to have this kid." You guys are in school.
Yeah.
Y'all have a long life ahead of you. Are you wanting to have this child, or are you gonna possibly talk her into having an abortion?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to talk anyone into it. That's boy.
I'm not gonna push anyone down the stairs or anything like that. Obviously, I mean, generally, listen, you're gonna have to live with the consequences of your decision.
Exactly.
In that case, I mean, that was probably not a very, very, very intelligent, situation that you got getting yourself into. So if
y'all gotta forgive me when I be bringing that shit. But go ahead. No, I want to know. Seriously.
Are you like talking from experiences?
No, because I mean, y'all have so much ahead of you guys. Y'all are young. Y'all are in school. So if if you have a baby, your life is no longer about you. It's not about you anymore. It's about the child.
But
that's why you don't have unprotected sex with people.
You got yourself in that situation, though.
Let's speak hypothetically here. Let's say it does happen. You guys aren't ready for children. So do you have this baby?
Is that my choice?
Well, I was about to say, it's as males, that is not really our choice.
Again, I'm not going to push anyone down the stairs, and also I'm not going to prevent anyone from getting an abortion if they want to. If I'm not even necessarily emotionally invested as you're describing it. So, like, what much, like, how, I mean, I could talk about my opinion on that. I would not hypothetically want that hypothetical kid, but
I think I agree with Alex, though.
What do you mean?
Realistically speaking, what am I supposed to do,
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, if she makes that decision, then that's her decision to live with.
That's what I said. It's her body. Let her decide.
Yeah.
I do, however,
I just want to point out something. Me, Smokey, and JJ all were talking about going to the doctor and getting it done as a medical procedure. One person in this room said throwing people down the stairs. You are a bully, dude. Why are we throwing women downstairs?
As a metaphor for forcing someone to have an abortion. Obviously.
To be fair, he did say he wouldn't do it, so
I would not do it. So that means that I wouldn't take like personal direct action to affect the outcome, which is the reason for me to say, I can't really do much about that situation. And if it so happens that I'm gonna have a kid on my hands, then I'm responsible for that because I made a bad decision to get myself in that situation.
Right. You came into you put yourself in a situation, so now get yourself out of it.
Well, that's the way I see it. The way I see it is not I'm going to get myself out of it. If it happens, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to deal with it. Do the right thing. Yeah, I'm going to
take it down the barn.
I've done that.
You're going to take the kid out back, dude. He said take care of it. We all know what that means. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Taking care of
care. That's not taking care. That's not care.
I'm just saying, dude,
you ever been with the mafia? That's taking care.
None of us can produce a baby. Nobody here can push a baby out of them. It's up to the woman.
That is
if
correct.
she wants to abort that child whenever, it's her body.
Yeah.
It's her body.
I do, however, think it's problematic that because of the nature of the argument, and I understand fully why that is.
It's not easy.
The problem is the man not having a choice is a bit of an issue as well, and especially because, as you said, you're responsible for the child.
Yeah.
So if she doesn't want the child, she can just abort it. If you don't want the child, you at the very least have to pay child support.
Oh well.
Like that's.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Ooh,
a bit of
that's
a
a good
weird point in the
It
system
is.
where I don't fully agree with it. That I know it's a complex situation, but I feel like it's weird that if a man who from the get-go says I don't want to have anything to do with his child still has to at the very least monetarily support it.
See, this
That
the thing
could
is
go
like
the
we have
other
a
way,
we have a biological obstacle here that can't be regulated
Yeah, I know.
legally properly.
And
That's
yeah,
the very much
the same problem exists the other way
situation.
around. If you impregnate a woman and the man wants
Yes.
to keep the child and the woman doesn't,
Yeah, what happens?
it's a very similar issue. And
Yeah.
I understand that on some level you can't fix that problem because that's just how nature made it. But yeah, it's
You're playing God. I look at it like playing God. What were you about to say?
Oh, nothing. He actually made the point for me. It works both ways there. I mean,
Yeah.
We've been
not a very simple topic.
and it's not a problem we're gonna
No,
solve.
not at all. But we've been talking on that subject for a while, guys. We've been going for a while here. You you guys want to start closing it down here? Or? You guys,
yeah, we can do
got
that.
before we do that, I want to ask each and every one two questions, and then we can
Sure.
get
Oh,
into the
boy.
songs of the week.
Well,
I know y'all
so
love
6
it.
total
Y'all
questions?
love it.
Yeah, I
So,
love questions.
with
I like
asking
answering
everyone
questions.
2 questions and you just asked the whole abortion question that took half an hour, I'm gonna be excited to see for how many hours this podcast goes on.
This should be simple. This should be simple.
Okay,
JJ,
let's hit it.
let's
Let's
start
hit
with
it
you.
Yes.
JJ, you ready?
Yes.
What is a man?
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is gonna take hours.
Yeah, see, this is
No, I just want to know, what is a man? What is
The
a man?
abbreviated version, if you will.
well, we live in a day and age where a man is just a person that says that they are a man, and I would add the caveat is an adult. I'm not gonna have children identify as
See,
men.
there's like a million.
He's saying
I could
physically.
okay, just to be like a bit funny and to not have to get down that rabbit hole, I'm gonna say a man is a featherless
Take
biped.
biology out of the point.
Yeah, man's a featherless biped, dude.
No,
That's
I'm
all I'm gonna
serious.
say.
So again,
Do I have to run
what-
around with a plucked chicken?
No. What? What are we saying?
Sorry,
Hollywood?
JJ, what is a man? Just give me an answer. What is a man? Other than biological parts, what is a man?
Philosophically.
Well,
male
first,
human.
I was about to say, first of all, are we talking male human or are we talking human? Because man can mean both.
You mean man as in male, so male human.
Yes.
I
male.
don't understand why this question's so hard. I'm gonna ask you again.
Hey,
what,
I went
hold
through the
on.
same thing when he
wait,
asked me.
What is a man? That's I don't know
A
how.
man,
As
a
you just said,
man,
it's
a
a-
man is a human being of the male gender.
Yeah. That's
Okay, wait. Okay, so all right, hold on, JJ. What is a man?
it's not like I didn't just agree with
I
it.
don't want Alec. I don't want Alec. I want to hear from you. What is a man?
A man is a male human.
What answer do you
Alex.
expect? Like what?
Eh,
What? Do you,
wait,
No,
no,
I
sorry,
just want to know because
I have to add the thing that I said before.
Yeah.
It's a male adult human.
yes.
All right.
Just
and
to
the
be
reason I'm
clear.
asking, okay, and I'm gonna get you, Alex. But the reason I'm asking these questions because these are the 2 most popular questions on the internet right now. JJ, second question: what is love?
Well, my typical answer to this question is a chemical reaction in the brain caused by hormones, but I feel like it's a bit of an unpopular answer.
That's the correct answer,
But yeah,
but yeah.
it's- I mean, at the end of the day, that is the answer.
That was the same
That's
answer
what
I
you
gave.
All right, Alex, what is a man?
What is a man? A man is a male human, an adult male human.
Okay, you don't think a man has responsibilities? You don't think a man has certain
yeah,
roles
see,
in the household?
You want
No.
the
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 answer is no.
philosophical answer, right? Like a man takes care of his business, sort of thing. See, that's
Well, I mean, don't we all take
you're,
care of
you're
our
asking
business?
me, yeah, you're asking me a definition question, not like what should
Yeah.
a man do. You ask
Okay,
what is a man. So
But even if you do ask for the whole like role and responsibility, I think that
that's even not even so simple.
I don't think that the whole gender stereotypes are for the most part they aren't validated. There is a few that are, as we just said, like biologically kind of have to be the way, but I don't agree with gender roles to begin with.
Yeah.
But biologically, it actually puts out some certain gender roles.
Well,
Right.
yes, again, biological males tend to be build muscle mass easier than females,
Yes.
and thereby tend to be stronger.
Have
Females
better-
tend to
better
have
sight
better
on
emotional
it.
intelligence. Males tend to
So
have better
can-
logical reasoning.
can-
It's yeah.
Can a woman born with a vagina and boobs, can she say that she is a man?
Sure, whatever. I don't care.
I don't give a
Yeah,
shit.
that's the way I feel too.
All right,
I say if they really want to, I don't care.
Alex, what is love?
Baby, don't hurt me no more.
How do I reference?
Let's go. Got it in. Got it in.
I literally
Got it
in.
in.
I controlled myself not to say it.
Got it in.
I had to control myself not to, and then you just do it.
And love is I'm gonna
Love is a battlefield.
Yeah, that.
Another music reference.
Love is the name that we have given to the emotion caused by strong affection due to certain hormones being released.
Actually, there's also the point
Oxytocin.
that
directed to a specific thing, person, activity, whatsoever.
I was about to say that's the thing because love doesn't even necessarily just mean romantic love. There's all kinds of different varieties there as well.
That was the exact definition I gave him. Yes, I added oxytocin instead of hormones.
Yeah.
All right, so for the people who
I'm not a biochemist, okay?
Yeah. Smokey, what is a man?
A man philosophically is a protector, is a caretaker, is a provider for a family.
Yeah.
What is love?
Love is a feeling that can happen to anyone over any person, place, or thing. Anything that emits oxytocins to flood through your brain.
All right. I don't know why those questions were so hard for y'all to answer, but
Something love drugs something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come up. I'm not exactly sure, but there's definitely drugs that can also cause your brain to release oxytocin.
Yeah, sure.
As a matter of fact,
Alex had the best answer. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't
That's
hurt
by far the best
me.
answer.
No, Mom.
No more.
No more.
All right. That's all I wanted to ask. That's all.
The comical answer is always the best. We should also make a few announcements because we have some projects planned, and the people might as well know about that. So we have, because JJ and myself have specialized YouTube channels, one dedicated to sports and one dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons. We have invited the both of you to participate in activities with us, which are relevant for those channels. And we are going to play a fantasy football league between the four of us this year, which is, that's a new thing to Hollywood and JJ. Correct?
I also don't know anything about actual football.
Well, you just wore a Drew Brees jersey, right? Like before when we started.
Well,
Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, got him. Got him. No, but in the
now that we're calling it out, I feel like I gotta.
You gotta put it back on. Yeah, go get it.
Oh,
And
no,
we're
bro,
also going to
I will
play.
end this podcast right now. I promise you. My finger is on the button.
We are stop it. Hollywood. Calm down. It's just a piece of clothing. It can't hurt you.
Go ahead. I swear this will be the end of
I
the
really can't
podcast.
hear it was a thing because I'm wearing a
Wait,
headphone.
let it go over
Close
here.
your eyes. Close your eyes.
And thank you guys for checking into the 32nd episode of the Trash Talk Podcast.
Couple more announcements. So,
Hey to the audience, guess what Alex got me for my birthday?
I got him the best of luck.
Alex
dude.
bought you that?
Yes.
Yeah, I got him that.
I
for
got
his
something for
birthday.
your birthday, a whole bag of boo. You can have it all.
Yeah.
Through the ain't. The taints.
We're going to have the fantasy football draft. We're going to make a 4-team league, which is reasonably simple for the two beginners among us to kind of get into the thing.
Wait, am I the one who's most thematically dressed for that announcement?
Yeah.
How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. It's true.
Wait,
but
I
you
want to
just-
say in the chat, you guys said that JJ was the most knowledgeable person about football, and you have yet to answer my question, so I'm not going to bring up the Michael Vick thing.
Right, Michael Vick.
What college did John Elway go to, sir? Since you're so knowledgeable, I dare you to Google. Look at him. He's Googling. Look at him. You see he trying to Google. Look at him.
See, the thing is,
I'm gonna break
he
this right now.
tends to lie, and I wasn't there at the time.
I was being very extremely sarcastic when I said that JJ knows football.
I know.
So when you asked that question, I immediately texted JJ personally. He went to Virginia Tech, so he could answer. He didn't even do that.
I literally didn't have Discord open for a few hours because I was doing stuff for college.
The fact is that JJ knows about. Give me 5 NFL players, top of your head, right now.
Why should I do that? And okay,
Just to prove a point.
Yeah, I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
Let's do it.
I feel like the point is just that I'm around you way too much.
Give me
let's
5
see.
NFL players.
Let me think.
I want to see you struggle do that. Maybe just top.
Well, I mean, obviously, I guess I'm gonna name Drew Brees first because obvious.
That's one.
How about Alvin Kamara? Is that
Alvin
correct?
Kamara. Yes.
I don't even know who that is.
He plays for the Aints, man.
Oh, the Taints. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
He made a video about him once.
Yeah, I made a video about him. That's correct.
Oh, I could just name people you made videos about. That's a thing.
Yeah, that works actually.
Jimmy Garoppolo, you made a video
Garoppolo.
about. You made a video about. Why am I missing out on the name of the fucking?
See where it's already tough, right?
The fucking Browns dude. Fuck.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. Thank you. I'm forgetting his name. No, I mean I could just name like Aaron Rodgers, like Tom Brady.
There
I mean I can
you
name the
go.
people that you know.
Yeah. Okay.
You know Gronk.
Can anybody answer that question though?
Oh.
What college did John Elway go to?
Gronk actually
Man.
retired.
Oh, he's retired. You said current.
technically,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's it.
That
so
would've
That's the
been
thing I've
80s.
heard before.
Early 80s.
Yeah, so it technically isn't even a starting quarterback anymore. But the point is, we're going to play a fantasy football draft and league with these guys. We're going to have it up, hopefully, on your channel and on my channel, Beyond Football. And as a compromise to the nerds in the house, which is you, Hollywood, and JJ, we're going to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons involving me
Yes, sir.
as the game manager, which is going to make the whole experience a million times more fun than when JJ plays it.
So, from what I understand, what you are referring to as Dungeons and
That was a
Dragons
diss.
is in fact not such.
Why not?
Because, as far as I know, you do not plan to use the Dungeons and Dragons rules system, which is the one thing that makes Dungeons and Dragons and not just any other tabletop role-playing game.
We're going to play
He's
a
got
tabletop
point.
role-playing
He's got a
game
point.
that I invented and called it Dungeons and Douchebags.
Oh, that's dope.
I like it.
That's what
That's
we're playing.
dope.
That's what the series is going
Or
to
you
be
could
called.
you could have incorporated the trash talk name in there and said Dungeons and Dumpsters. Well, I just went
Or
through
Dungeons
that.
and Trash Bags.
Oh, that's a good one.
Dumpsters and trash
Dungeons and
bags? Is that too much?
I like douchebags.
That just
so
sounds
you
like the description of like a backyard of a larger company.
Yeah, we're just talking about a dump now. We're going to
You,
play
like,
a game of...
turn a corner and run into Brock Lesnar or something.
Ooh.
Yeah. Maybe. It's going to be fun. So, JJ...
You saw
you
what
can-
JJ just did.
See, and that's why we're on video call.
Yep, menacingly turns. When we get off the air, we're going to briefly explain both of those topics to the respective noobs in that field, just so we have a quick idea of how that's going to work. But expect that stuff in the upcoming weeks and months on, first of all, the Trash Talkers channel, obviously, in good old Georgia, and on mine and JJ's respective individual specialization channels. Should be a lot of fun, because to us, it definitely is a lot of fun to hang out with y'all. And I hope you reciprocate those ideations.
We reciprocate.
We reciprocate.
That is much appreciated. So, if we have nothing else to talk about, we have a song of the week, which is how we close out every single podcast.
Because we have to end it on a high note.
And a bad musical pun, which is what we've been saying for way too much.
Yes, but we haven't said it a lot recently, and I'm not sure if we ever said it on one of the podcasts with those guys.
Because, high note music, that sort of thing. So, JJ, what's your song of the week? Oh, song of the week, sorry.
My song of the week is actually by a band that you introduced me to.
You're really going there already?
Yes,
Wow.
I'm going there. It's Fiddler's Green, and the song is Born to be a Rover.
Okay. Yeah, it's a decent song. It's not my favorite song by that band, but it's a good band. Also, Smokey, that's a band you might like, actually.
Wait,
'cause
I'm
it's
gonna
going-
write these down because I wanna check this out. Could you
Yeah.
repeat that again?
They're called Fiddler's Green.
Fiddler's Green.
As in, fiddle, the instrument.
Yeah,
Well,
a violin.
A violin.
Fiddler's
And green as in the color.
Yeah.
And
They have a bunch of pretty good songs, so you might
Hey,
like.
we're
It's like
Irish.
sort of
We know what a fiddle is.
Exactly. And what's the
Irish,
name of the song?
Irish full on.
the song is Born to be a Rover.
Born to be a Rover, but go to listen to other ones. Too.
I mean,
They're
they do have a few pretty good songs. They are a German band that makes music in an Irish style.
They're pretty
For
good.
some reason. Because culture.
All right.
Yeah, but they're pretty cool. So, and my song of the week is going to be it's a very brand new song, and we haven't even talked about the album yet, but we're going to do that on our next podcast. It's "Die to Live" by Volbeat. That's my song of the week.
Y'all
That-
in Volbeat, God.
yeah, the album
We've
was
had one on
released
every-
like
I mean,
a week
show.
ago.
Volbeat released their new album like at point of recording like literally a week ago or
A week
something.
ago. And next week's podcast, we're going to be reviewing it, by the way. And "Born to Live" is one of the key tracks on that album, one of the big ones, and I like it a lot so far. And we're going to be reviewing that next week.
All right.
That's
What you
our songs
got,
of the
Smokey?
week.
What's your song of the week?
I'm going with the Dropkick Murphys, Shipping Up to Boston, which is a Boston-based Irish punk band.
Okay, I'll check that out. And my song of the week
You know that song.
is
Everyone knows that song.
I've never heard this
You've
song
heard
a
it
day in my
before.
life.
You might not know
Oh,
the
yeah,
name, but you've
but
heard it before for sure.
You'd be like,
Everyone's
that was
heard
in
it
a
before.
beer commercial. Yeah.
They played.
Okay.
They played at the Patriots Stadium.
Boo.
Yeah.
My
I
song of
can
the
agree.
week is by an artist named Jim Croce, and the name of the song is "Time in a Bottle." Was produced in
Time in a
1973.
bottle.
Is it Jim Croce?
Jim Croce, sorry, Jim
Okay.
Croce. "Time in a Bottle." Just heard this song, and it's angelic.
Nice.
Angelic.
That sounds like something that we might.
Well, the
actually,
year definitely sounds
yeah,
promising.
that might not actually be completely resented on our side of things. So we're gonna listen to it. We are some old heads when it comes to classical rock music. So
Y'all will like that song. It's
Says
pretty
classical a million times, then just adds rock to be sure that we're not talking about Beethoven.
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Beethoven.
No,
good. Shoot,
Not
I
really.
can actually play Beethoven. Quite a few of his
Like on
symphonies,
what?
to be honest with you. On the piano.
On what instrument? Really?
Piano, dude.
You play the piano?
Y'all better. Bro, I got notes on me. I've been playing piano forever. Y'all, can I see them? Hold up. Can y'all see them?
Yeah, I can
we
see
can
that.
see a lot of things, okay?
Put that away, please. There might be
Show the
minors watching.
skin.
Thank you, thank you. So I didn't know that you play piano.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
that's
sir.
that
Not
goes
unex-
against expectation. I
Yeah,
guess.
very unexpected. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's you'll learn something new every day about people you never
Every single
thought you
day.
knew. It's crazy.
Well, guys, we
So-
have a huge thunderstorm about to happen here, and we don't want our
Oh, boy.
things to
All right.
pop out. Yeah.
yeah.
We don't want no things to pop out right
Yeah.
now.
Anything else for the
None of
people,
them.
guys?
No, we are good. Announcements been made. Songs of the week are through. We are done on our side. So thank you for the podcast. It's been a long one, but it's been a fun one. And let's have
been a
more of
great
those in the future. That's all I can say. So thank you for watching.
All right. Well,
Definitely.
We'll do our ending,
Yeah.
and then we'll finish out with theirs. Thank y'all everybody for checking in to the 32nd episode of the Trash Talk podcast, and also the 111th episode of the Trash Talkers podcast on the German side. My name is Behringer Hollywood 6. Bye.
I am Larry, Smokey, Ramirez, Cowan.
And
JJ,
That's it.
Smokey,
That's it.
Hollywood.
that's it.
That's it.
I love you guys. Deuces.